Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
Welcome to South Africa, the region where political violence is on the rise ahead of elections. Hello, my name is Reneilwe Morema and I am your host right here on the African Diaspora News Channel, reporting live from Johannesburg, South Africa. As we are getting closer and closer to the elections, tensions are mounting within political parties. And with tension mounting, so will the violence erupt and soar even higher. South Africa has a history of political violence within parties since the transition to democracy in the 1990s. During the transition from apartheid, increased competitions between parties, particularly during the election periods, manifested in new forms of political violence, including assassinations and party infighting. A critical factor in the rising violence targeting local officials, particularly councillors, is party and intra-party competition to secure influential positions at the local level. Political actors have resorted to violence to secure and hold on to these positions. Therefore, as political leaders contest for positions at local government, officials become both victims and perpetrators of violence. Attacks or threats function to intimidate opponents and serve as a deterrent for whistleblowers. Physical attacks and abductions against local officials account for approximately 2/3 of all violent attacks recorded between 2018 and 2022. ANC members were the most frequently targeted group, and declining political support for the ANC may also fuel increased competitions as political leaders attempt to hold on to power. All these political violences are rooted by one thing: fighting for higher positions in the municipality. They want power. Higher positions mean more money, access to unlimited government budgets and resources to fund their extravagant lifestyles. We will talk about that in my next segment about tender systems and corruption. Police Minister Becky Cele said most of the dead councillors had been victims of internal political battles. The majority were from the ANC. Elected office can bring access to local government budgets. Billions of rands have been lost through corruption involving government officials and politicians. In one notorious case that involves corruption and eating government money is the case of the school nutrition program in the KwaZulu-Natal province. It collapsed because of corruption, leaving thousands of children from poor families without school meals. Since 2018, KwaZulu-Natal province has been the epicenter of violence against local officials. In 2022, violence increased sharply in KZN between the ANC and the Inkatha Freedom Party, a rivalry dating back to the early 80s because of ideological differences. ANC wanting national democracy and the IFP wanting to promote Zulu nationalisms. Today, Zulus are known as the bullies of South Africa, dictators of culture and representatives of all black people in South Africa because of what the IFP wanted to promote. In KZN, the IFP initially won over the ANC in 1994 with over 48% of the votes in the province. But the ANC gradually accumulated further support in KZN, which featured the home of former President Jacob Zuma. In 2021, KZN saw high levels of violence when Jacob Zuma was sentenced to 15 months in prison for defying a court order to testify at an inquiry into corruption. More than 190 Zuma-related unrest events were recorded across the country, with 90% of those unrest using forms of violence. we cannot deny that Jacob Zuma has a large influence in South Africa. In fact, South Africa saw an immense economical transformation under his rule. HIV infections decreased, infrastructures improved. We saw Mpumalanga University being built from scratch, a black president building a university. How amazing is that? We saw how train systems being developed from scratch, and at some point, he ended load shedding completely. Unemployment rate was not this high, the economical state was not this bad, black businesses were actually thriving. So I do not believe that those 9 years of Zuma's presidency were wasted years as the media and Cyril Ramaphosa like to report it. We were brainwashed into removing someone that had the black people's interest at heart. He had our best interest at heart. I've spoken to it in the mining charter. I said, go read it. Such a progressive document that has our best interest at heart. But just like any violence, there's violence within the ANC party. It was Zuma's ANC versus Ramaphosa's ANC. One thing I will hold Zuma accountable for, besides corruption, is the fact that he watched his supporters loot shops and factories in his name. More than 400 people lost their lives, and not once did he condemn the mayhem. Why? Because he wanted to show that he still has power, he still had influence, and there's nothing the ANC can do about it. In fact, to show that he's still powerful, he still has influence in South Africa, he went on and started a party called the MK Party, the Umkhonto Wesizwe, Spear of the Nation. Sounds familiar? The name of the party is significant. MK was also what the ANC's former military wing was called under apartheid. It was co-founded by Nelson Mandela. In retaliation, the ANC took the MK party to court, arguing that the MK party stole their trademark, claiming copyright infringement by the party's founders. The ANC presented their arguments to the Electoral Court regarding the MK party's registration. The ANC want the MK party deregistered by the Electoral Court for using a name associated with the South African governing party. The Electoral Court dismissed the ANC's application to have the MK party deregistered. Since the rise of MK party, ANC has been losing a lot of supporters, especially in KwaZulu-Natal, and for the first time since 1994, they could lose majority of voters, and they will be forced to form a coalition to stay in power. The ANC has denied that the legal action is a reaction to the political threat posed by MK and Zuma. And the MK's response to the legal action has troubled many South Africans, especially the comment made by Visian Reddy, a party official.
You got no chance in court, but we are sending a loud and clear message that if these courts, which are sometimes captured, if they stop MK, there will be anarchy in this country. There will be riots like you've never seen in this country. There'll be no election. No South African will go to the polls if MK is not on the...
The Electoral Commission of South Africa has disqualified Zuma from standing as a candidate in upcoming elections because of his 15-month prison term after being found guilty of corruption, further angering his supporters. Jacob Zuma is going to parliament, even if it means amending the constitution. These are some of the comments made by the MK party officials. You know what I can't stand? The double standards of this country. You say Zuma is corrupt and can't be on the ballot, but we have a president with the biggest scandal of all time with proof and witnesses, yet the media, the state capture commission and the ANC has not once held him accountable, yet he's the poster boy at the ballot papers. But while Zuma was president, we would know everything about Zuma. What time he was waking up, what he ate, what time he went to bed. He was like a prisoner on the chopping block, yet everybody is silent about Ramaphosa's shady business. The media is quiet when it comes to Ramaphosa's corrupt scandals. Tensions are clearly mounting as we draw closer and closer to the elections. And we are seeing a dynamic where the EFF is getting closer to the MK party. Malema has since visited Zuma countless of times for tea, even defending him countless of times. He is aligning himself with the MK party, and a coalition might be in the works. And who knows, maybe the IFP, the longest rival of the ANC, might join in. I get why the DA is nervous. These elections are getting dangerous. But writing a letter to the US was a little bit dramatic from the DA as well. Now, the big question remains, how are all these wars beneficial to us, the citizens? Are you fighting to serve us? Is this going to improve the service delivery in this country? Are you fighting because you want what's best for us? Or are you fighting to show who has the biggest, whose ego is bigger? I say you are fighting, but the citizens are bearing the brunt. Some fights you can tell they are motivated by greed, evil, and corruption. This is a fight of who has the biggest balls. The world needs to understand that the damage of colonization will never heal. It created an army of hungry opportunists, and I know they are controlling this corruption political war narrative from behind the scenes. We have freedom, but we are never free. Comment to us your views on this matter. Like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Diaspora News channel. My name is Reneilwe Morema. It has been an absolute pleasure.